I hope you are well. In today's video, we are still going to do some AI things, some AI stuff, but I would like to share with you a few really interesting things first. Right, you can see this website is really handy, is to find some really good cursor rules file. If the website doesn't exist when you watch this video, it's not a problem because you can just look at all of the rules here and you can take a screenshot and copy the text from there. So in our case, I'm going to have a look to the React one. And this is like a prompt basically. It's a rule file because a rule file will be executed every time, but it's exactly like a prompt. It's nice if you want things like performance or if you want to have some specific styling things or you want to have your design accurate, mention that for your project there in the rule file of your project. So ideally, every project should have their own cursor rules file. That way you are really specific, and of course, that way you don't have to mention that again and again in the prompt chat here. It will be just sitting in the rule setting. So if you go to cursor settings and there rules, and it will be just there. That's the main one. That's for any project actually, but for you, if you want to have a specific one for your project and not like a general one for like that will be executed all the time regardless the project you are in, so then you should click here, add a new rule, and here you should just mention username, cursor rules, and I can mention like a specific name. So I will do mill snap, for instance, mill snap, yeah, cursor rules. And then inside of that file, I will mention exactly what I want. So I will like copy paste this, and I can change as well. There's also one for React Native that is interesting. It's this one. Again, there it speaks about use memo, React memo, also minimize, that's really good, use effect, use state, and heavy computation inside of the render methods. So you see everything is quite specific. Also about the best practices we want cursor to follow, UI and styling, and yeah, TypeScript usage, that's different. And then naming convention, if you have some specific naming conventions, you can mention as well. Yeah, anything that you don't want, or like if you want to avoid heavy computations, calculations, things like that, optimization, like here it speaks about optimize flat lists. It shows even an example there with the props like this, max to render per batch, and so on, window size, you see. So in my case, I will copy paste the file. Oops. Oh, description, it will be mill snap specific rules, and then here's my file. So you see your content, so I will just copy paste there. And then auto attach, we can specific also some specific for some specific files. So if we look at the tooltip, when you specify file patterns here, for instance, .tsx, .ts, this rule will automatically be included in AI responses for files matching those patterns. So if you want to specify some specific file extensions or file names, you can mention them there. So it will only be it will apply your rule for the specific file names you have mentioned there. It's a auto attach feature. So yeah, that's all actually, and it's really important to have this, I believe, because this way you expect what you want. Like the more specific you are, the better it is, and you don't want to have prompts that are too long. And usually with prompts, we tend to be lazy at some point. So we don't want to have unexpected things, or sometimes you would change model, or you would, you would go back to your project, but for some reason the AI will not be accurate anymore, and so your project will not be consistent. And thanks to the cursor rules, your project will always be consistent. All right, so yeah, I can now continue. Here I will continue my project now, there, and I will do code there. It's fine. I will just close all of the tabs first. I will use agent, and I will say continue. I have a view that I need to finish. It's a report view. Continue the report feature. Add any missing options, features, things there, and continue the report screen where it wasn't completed. Add new features if here I'm quite vague. I want actually the AI to think about new features because I have no idea. I don't have new features I want to implement in mind, so then I rely on the AI to do this for me. But for you, if you know what you want to be implemented there, you have to specify what needs to be there and the way you want to see it to be, like to be rendered basically. So if you have a specific design in mind, you can also attach a screenshot, and that way it will look more like the screenshot. You can show, okay, this is like a competitor app, but I want this kind of feature also to be on my app. Can you design it for me? Can you give me a draft? And then can you implement it in my project? You know, it's quite nice to also question AI to say, can you look back to your response? Can you reevaluate what you just did? And so the AI will learn by itself. Here any features and potential bugs or flaws. All right, so let's submit this. Let's just wait. I had breakfast this morning, and sadly I was like so energized this morning, and I did a mistake. I feel a bit sick now, like very, very sick. I think probably, I'm not sure, something wasn't fresh. I don't know what I ate, but definitely the food at the buffet of my hotel wasn't good. I had to wait 45 minutes for my flat white, for my almond flat white to arrive. I mean, to be served on my table. The staff said to me that the system was shut down. I'm not sure what they mean by system, like hot water, I'm not too sure. And yeah, so I had to wait 45 minutes for my almond flat white. And then I was eating, and now I feel like super sick. And I know by fact it's the food. So it's a bit sad. So I apologize if you see that I'm a little bit, maybe not 100% there. I am there. It's just that I feel a little bit sick. But yeah, that's okay. You know, we can choose that. This happens, and it is what it is. All right. So we can see now it rewrites the report view.tsx. Always be careful because sometimes like with cursor, it doesn't happen too often, but it might create a new file instead of reusing the existing file you have. So this is why it's always crucial to review what it does. And also, like, about the file names, about the project, usually AI nowadays is smart enough to look at your styling and the project, like the global overview project, and to reuse the same way of coding and to keep it consistent. But it does happen that it's not the case. Usually now it's very nice because we have to be less specific in our prompts, since AI will learn from the coding standards, the way how you code a project. Every project has a specific coding style standard. We call it, I had one, I can maybe show it to you. So I have my CMS I have built a very long time ago, like a long time ago, way before AI documentation. And I wrote how I want the project to be coded, like the convention basically. It's a coding convention. And if I need now to use AI for my PH7 builder, I would say, look, this is the coding conventions. Can you, so I would copy paste that, and can you follow the same rules? Because it's a bit specific just for the variable, like for the way I name the variables. So the naming convention, I use a prefix where the data type is the prefix. So the first letter is the data type. That means array, it will start by A. For integer, it will start by I. For float or double, F. For boolean, B. For a character, that's specific, like it's a C convention, but I use it also for PHP, it's a C, because we don't have such data type in PHP. S, string. BI, again, why BI, BY, why BY and not just B, because we already have boolean here. So BY for byte. That's also very specific. PHP doesn't have this kind of data type. Well, that's fine. R for resource. Anything like when you use the file, when you read from a file like here, well, it use, where is it? Here. F open, it's a resource, so use R as a prefix. And then O for object. And M for mixed. Mixed can be like, for instance, a integer and a boolean. And yeah, it's nice, like if your project has really specific conventions, then you can really specify like this. And I would use that in my cursor rules file of the PH7 CMS, PH7 builder project. All right. So now let's see what it did here. Yeah, that looks okay. So always reviewing the file. Okay. That's fine. So you can also move from file to review. In my case, I tend to review it with Git instead. Something good to do is also to create a new branch when you are working on an existing project and you want to have cursor doing a lot of things. You would create a new feature branch. You would have the cursor doing like adding a new feature whatsoever. And then you would push that branch. You will open a pull request on GitHub or on Bitbucket, doesn't matter where it is, GitLab, and then you would review the pull request. And this way, it's easier to flag errors, and then anything you see that the model, the AI, didn't do exactly what you said, then rewrite a better prompt. Again, the prompt is everything. AI is usually smarter than you, but when AI doesn't look to do a good job, it's because the prompt wasn't good, not because AI wasn't good. So AI is super smart. Like most of the models, the one I love using now, Claude 3.7, or the thinking mode, so Sommet, it's really, like, it's super smart. It will, like most of the time, 99% of the time, it will code better than you. But everything depends of how the instructions were given. It's really like you are speaking to someone who doesn't speak English that well. So you have to be very specific. You have to precisely mention everything from A to Z. Again, like I said, nowadays AI tends to be smarter and to look at your project structure, to all of the existing files, to give better and more relevant answers, but it's still not always the case. All right, so here we can accept everything. Yeah, that's good. I will now look at the file changes. This new package, you see, and that happens a lot where AI would not install the proper package, a package that doesn't exist, or even not worse, but something that also can happen is that the version is really outdated, or the version is just incorrect. So always be very careful. AI is really not good yet at doing this. The package, like I'm always, you have to check by yourself, because so many times it was either a package that is just empty, that it doesn't do what the model thought it would do, like the functions being used are not even there in that specific package. Or sometimes it would have, like I said, incorrect version, very old version, or the package is just not being maintained anymore. Like here, the last version was published in like 3 years ago. So it's not the newest. We are native HTML. I would ask, can you use a more recent modern package instead of, or you can even have a look, React Native. If I type React Native HTML to PDF npm, and we can search for that. That's the one Claude AI suggested to me. What about this one? HTML to PDF React Native, 4 years old. Yeah, it's even worse. So, like these days, usually AI tries to give the most appropriate and better answers. So usually the code generated by AI, it's already optimized whatsoever. But again, everything specific or even packages, you have to specify that. And for packages, it's a bit like a black box. AI doesn't really know if it's a good one or a bad one, so you have to look around. Here, I'm not too sure, a month ago, so that looks better. But I'm not too sure. I will already submit this to see. Maybe it will not find a good one, so we can stick with that one for now. And if you find a good one, and it's a relatively new one, you can add the documentation, which is a really good feature. So you have docs, and then you paste the URL of the new doc. That's something really handy you can do just to include a doc. And so what Cursor will do, it will fetch, it will scrap all of the data from that URL, and it will have that addition knowledge, like that extra knowledge inside of its, like it will know the new documentation. Even if it's a really new library, you just add the URL. It has to be public. It cannot be a private URL, of course. And then it will retrieve all of the data from that URL, and it will give better and more relevant output thanks to that. All right. So let's wait for the package. And in the meantime, I will already commit that. Like normally having a good commit message is extremely important. But when you are in a bit in a hurry, you can use the AI tool here. It still gives like a fair, good, approximated description. Like the description is usually quite okay, but committing too many files at once, it's not good, because normally one commit, it has to be from one change. If you are interested to, I have written this one. Let me show it to you. Git outstanding. It's not there. Maybe it might be on the next page. Yeah, here. Outstanding Git practices. And it's a public repository, so feel free to go there and to have a look by yourself. I should actually also mention that to Cursor. That would be really like a really good idea, because sometimes Cursor can suggest you when to commit, or it can commit by itself. I'm not 100% sure for now, but it's like the plan. Cursor team said that they do plan also to have that automatically done for you, so it would be nice when it can commit for you. Here you see commit message. It has to be clear what happened, as well as a reason, modification behind the change. Like, why did you change that? The motivation behind it. Why we need to have this implemented. Why we need this new library, for instance. The reason. A Git commit, usually, the simple important rule is that if your commit message contains the word and or a plus sign, that means you are trying to commit multiple changes, unrelevant multiple changes in one commit, and you shouldn't, because it will be harder for you to debug if you have an issue, or to revert, or to cherry pick a Git hash. So something to take into account is to have one commit per change and not more. Like the commit I just did, it has multiple changes. If we do a git log, you see so many changes, and they are not relevant. I mean, they are not part of the same thing. Like you can see, they are quite different. If they are different, it means it's too many changes in the same commit. So here I just did because, it's just a tutorial, like a course, you and me. It's less important, and I'm a little bit in a hurry too, but you should be careful. Yeah. Again, I suggest you to have a read here. It's very important. That's like all of everything I learned from my career as a software engineer. I put it there. It's short, but that's a goal. When it's too long, you would not apply for what like this. I made it short and concise on purpose. And I used to share that within my team as a lead software engineer. And it's a really good and simple and very helpful like Git practices you should apply. So commit message, and why do I have Git commit? Huh, that's funny. I just found a typo. But yeah, that's okay. I will do that change later, but it should be Git commit here. Yeah, anyways. So yeah, that's pretty much all for now. I will quickly go to the bathroom. I will try to feel a bit better. It's never nice to feel a bit sick, but I hope this video was helpful, and I wish you a happy AI coding.